Hello everyone, welcome to Analog IAS Current Affair Analysis for 14th June 2021. We are actually utilizing a live mint article for this, but we have to understand that this is a very huge issue which requires detailed explanation and also to give a context of the actions taken by the governments and the opposition parties in 2019. The various sides of the proposals set forward by these political parties in 2019 elections, and we're also going to talk about a bit into the past decisions and the historical legacy problems of our healthcare sector and how we have to solve or approach those problems. So this is going to be a bit lengthy, so I request your patience. Healthcare is a national priority and it must gain electoral traction. Before the pandemic, how many governments have taken healthcare as an election agenda? This is a question that we have to ask ourselves because we only had a namesake mention of the idea of healthcare, despite the fact that 67% of the expenditure incurred by the health sector is actually born out of the patient's pocket. Despite such high amount of spending, nobody really questioned the governments ever since our independence about the fact that governments are spending way too little resources, way too little time and effort in delivering quality healthcare services. So it is probably time that we take this as an election agenda, and that exactly is the focus of this article. Actually, health started making an impact in the political scene way before the elections in 2019, when our Prime Minister actually announced the Ayushman Bharat scheme. So Ayushman Bharat was actually a scheme which was based on insurance, as in every family would get 5 lakhs worth insurance in the pre-pandemic era. To counter this, the Congress manifesto back then before the election carried a right to healthcare act. So how does this idea of right to healthcare fare, and whether we have to make healthcare a right, is the point that we are discussing in this. So let us understand the scenario. In the absence of COVID, there are certain issues which were already pending as a matter of our legacy of historical neglect of our healthcare sector. So those issues magnified in the second wave. We have seen cases where oxygen was required to the patient, and just because oxygen was not available, a lot of people died. So what is the current health scenario in the country, and how did COVID as a pandemic magnify these issues, is what we have to understand. Firstly, we have to talk about the spending, the quantum of spending. Even before the pandemic struck us, in the last 5 years, like 2014 to 2019, if you take a look at the data, the union health budget has stagnated in real terms. We have had National Health Mission. So the allocations for this National Health Missions do not cover inflation, and there have been avoidable deaths of scores of children in public hospitals. We remember the infamous Gorakhpur hospital where patients died because oxygen was not available, and this is even before the pandemic. There were other places also that can be ascribed to the lack of material and human resources, which resulted in a lot of deaths. So this National Health Mission was the flagship framework in which our healthcare delivery functioned. That is the first problem. So recently we have had the National Health Policy of 2017 coming back into the scene, which advocated that we improve our healthcare spending to 3.5 to 4% of our GDP. So this would significantly create a huge workforce, and at the same time create a lot of employment and also deliver quality healthcare to the public. This is one aspect which has been ignored till now. Now the second issue, regulation. There is significant lapses in our regulatory system because governments have failed collectively to regulate private hospitals. This resulted in numerous instances of mismanagement and massive overcharging of patients. So this overcharging of patients was actually magnified in the COVID pandemic. So there is again another aspect of underfunding. We already have existing schemes which are offered by the center as well as the states. Mind you, when we are talking about election, we are not just talking about the central Lok Sabha elections. We are talking about healthcare delivery at state level as well, because ultimately health is a state subject. So this is not just a question of electoral politics, but it is also the effectiveness of federalism as a design we are talking about. So the third aspect comes in the underfunding of schemes, because there are convincing facts which show that the solution being offered in the form of Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana is not only underfunded, the current funds being less than 1/4 of what is required. So it will only scratch the tip of the iceberg of healthcare requirements in our country, which is simply not sufficient. The other aspect we have to look at from the perspective of electors or people, that is voters. Have they taken this lessons taught by the pandemic seriously? According to a few surveys, apparently they haven't. Because if you take a look at the Bihar survey conducted by Lok Niti, so this was a post-election survey in November 2020. In this survey, it was found out that only 0.3% of the voters actually highlighted the health as a priority in the pandemic. And even in the context of this pandemic, they did not realize that unemployment and development loom larger as voter priorities. Now, we have to understand what are the reasons for considering health as a secondary aspect. Why are citizens not prioritizing health? Citizens may have low expectations of the government. They don't believe that governments are capable of delivering healthcare at a very affordable cost. So that can be explained as one of the reasons. And also, health system has remained unresponsive and unaccountable for a very long time. But it may also be because political parties and politicians do not place promising results at the table when election campaigns are running, and there is absolutely no commitment shown when we're talking about healthcare. Political leaders also stay away from promising anything about healthcare. So this culminate in a historical neglect of healthcare. This needs to change. So what are some of the ways in which we can address our problems of healthcare? So the broad approach is probably to take the rights approach, that is ensuring a legislation that brings about a right to healthcare, probably make health a fundamental right as well. Adopting a right to healthcare legislation at the center and state levels would ensure that all residents of the country are entitled to what we know as the universal healthcare. So development of a system for universal healthcare would be a key constituent of this initiative. Private providers would also be involved as per the need to supplement this, but we cannot base our healthcare delivery completely in the hands of private, as it is the case right now in a large number of places across the country. So the second one is increasing expenditure. Now, increasing expenditure in the scheme of things at this point of time should be looked at in the terms of increasing efficiency. Now, where should we invest these resources is another question. We have to invest these resources in one, capacity building, and two, to improve our existing healthcare infrastructure in terms of rural areas, the primary healthcare centers, where they are severely in a dilapidated condition, especially in remote villages of low income states. So those states should be the first priority. Also, we would need a health sector human resource policy which is comprehensive in the fact that it addresses skill training. It also addresses the issue of fair wages, social security, and decent working conditions for all public health services staff. One of the major reasons why healthcare workers in government are very apathetic to the suffering of a patient is because they themselves are in a very uh, bad condition because of lack of proper conditions, and uh, the contractual health workers, especially including the ashas and anganwadi workers, they don't have proper security. So there is hardly any motivation to work apart from their commitment to the cause. So in our healthcare sector, we have to empathize and look at the human resources in the healthcare sector with a compassion. So if they are taken care of, they definitely contribute towards a better health system. Next thing is community based monitoring and planning. So the health services that are being practiced in a few states should be upskilled, and user-friendly grievance redressal mechanisms should be placed. So we don't know whom to complain and how to approach the government if healthcare services are not provided adequately. So it is important to create this awareness at a community level, and we have to tap into our NGOs and civil society bodies for this. And lastly, we have to talk about regulations, one in the form of quality and the other one is in the terms of price control. There is absolutely no control on prices when it comes to private hospitals. We have to remember that private hospitals should only become a choice but not a mandate when we require healthcare services. Even to the people who are going to the private hospitals just as a matter of choice, they should not be completely looted indiscriminately, which we have seen in the present pandemic as well. So these price regulations should also be brought into force from enforcing a uniform code for pharmaceutical marketing practices. There should be an expected code of conduct which prohibits unethical pharmaceutical practices or a nexus between doctors and pharmaceutical companies. So this requires huge commitment both from the public as well as the politicians, because there is incentive for politicians not to talk about healthcare, because we have seen certain instances where hospitals are actually backed by politicians themselves. So ultimately it requires public awareness to hold the governments accountable in terms of healthcare services. So that is what this article is talking about. The next aspect that we have to talk about is, are we going to actually focus on the entire population in one go? Because that is simply not possible. The cost incurred will be too high. Therefore we have to start from the focus on vulnerable groups. So the initiatives that we are already having in place, we have to ensure that people with special needs, that is women, we have children, then we have differently abled or disabled or divyang, then we have people suffering with special diseases like AIDS or HIV. They enjoy very minimal health services. We have to give them appropriate health services. So focusing on these groups beyond the preventive health care is what we have to focus upon. So the environment or the traditional social determinants of health, such as nutrition, water supply, sanitation, health environment, they should be ensured with a focus on these vulnerable groups. Apart from these social determinants, we also have certain plans that are needed in place to tackle, like say for example air pollution, or say the case of addiction to substance abuse. All this will contribute to deterioration of our social conditions. Also we have to remember that we have sustainable development goals to attain by 2030, and focusing on these vulnerable focus groups will yield multifold returns. Such a paradigm shift towards a rights based system for universal healthcare based on a massive increase in health budgets and strengthened health systems is not an unrealistic dream. So the present national health policy says that we have to increase our expenditure by 2.5%, but we manage to increase this to 3.5%, and we would be creating nearly 10 to 15 crore jobs in healthcare sector. And also it will have a multiplier effect. We have several examples of low and middle income countries. We have Thailand, we have Brazil, we have Sri Lanka, where public health systems are in place. The core ingredient required for this universal healthcare is just political will. And for this political will, we need to come back to the voters, because if voters do not make it an agenda for politics, obviously health will take a secondary priority in elections. So this needs to change, and this starts with an awareness of the common public that health is a non-negotiable item. So that is the entire focus of this article, and the entire agenda that we should have for our healthcare sector. So that is the gist of this issue. Thank you.